But once you've gotten through that self-assessment, once you've developed a business plan, and once you have begin to move down the road towards opening your doors, there's some other things you now need to consider. You need to consider whether you're going to have a home office or whether you're going to rent some commercial space. These are really important issues. If you're going to have a home office, things to consider in that is going to be zoning requirements of that home office. Whether or not you're going to be able to comfortably bring clients in and out of your home. Whether or not you're going to be able to have signage in your particular residential neighborhood. How is your family going to adjust to having staff, your staff coming in and out of your home? Those are really important issues. And also, you know, how much of a distraction is it going to be for you to work inside your home in terms of noise, in terms of interruptions and that sort of thing. If you decide to lease commercial space, some of the issues that you're going to have to address is going to be whether or not if you make money, if you're very profitable right away, whether the space is too small for you, or do you need to are you going to be able to grow in that space? If you find that you're not profiting as fast, are you going to be stuck in a lease right away for the next couple of years? And so these are issues that you need to address once you get to that point of considering moving out into moving your location or identifying a place in which you can stay. And so the important thing that we should know is that when we start out a business, we want to make sure that we also have a good start. And that is going to be a critical element in making sure that as entrepreneurs that our business is successful. So making sure that we do a very good self-assessment on ourselves, making sure that we understand that the proper location, and making sure that we put time into researching the product and services that we are going to be selling is so critically important, because that again is that first important start to the successful business. And so what I do at Don McCleod CPA PC is I sit down with my clients and we go through that self-assessment. We talk about that need of that entrepreneur. How are they going to form their business? What are the steps that they're going to need to take now in terms of making sure that their personal finances are in order, in terms of making sure that they have a strong support from their families, making sure they have the skill sets, making sure that they are ready to start this journey. It is very important in that whole self-assessment process, and making sure that when we get to the point and we're ready to locate our business somewhere, that we have put the time, effort, and energy into deciding where we should locate that business. And so my business helps clients to do that. And if you would like to know more about that, you can come and visit me at www.donmccleodcpapc.com, and we can make an appointment and have you to sit down with us and discuss how we can help you to fulfill some of your dreams of being an entrepreneur. startup costs. You know, as you start your business, one of the really important things that you're going to have to consider is, how do I fund my startup? Now, there are several ways that you can go about funding a startup. Certainly, you can save up cash in order to do that startup. This requires a little bit of discipline on your part. Some of the other things that you can do is you know, borrow money, and most entrepreneurs do borrow money. The question is, how much do you borrow? What is the proper way to borrow? And is borrowing right for me? And you know, I've seen cases in which entrepreneurs have borrowed from family and friends. Some say that's just not where I want to be. I don't want to involve family and friends in the startup. Well, then there's other ways. Certainly, you can get a bank loan, and getting a bank loan is going to mean that you're going to need to have a business plan. You're going to need to have prepare a budget for how you're going to handle your operational expenses, your projected revenues. You're going to need to certainly do a personal financial statement, and so the bank can see how you are in terms of your net worth, where you stand. And you're going to also need to develop a plan of being able to pay back that bank loan. There are other ways in which you can tap into capital. You may decide to do a business line of credit through your bank. Those are also good ways in which you can fund your startup. But whatever the case may be, you need to make sure that if you do borrow money, that you don't borrow more than you need. And this is going to require a detailed effort on your part of determining how much you're going to need. Now, what I suggest you do is determine first what your startup costs are going to be, and then determine what your operational expenses are going to be. You're going to need that startup cost, and you're going to also need roughly about 6 months of your operational expenses. And that's going to at least be able to get you to the point of riding out that initial startup of your business. And hopefully at that point you begin to see those revenues come in, and that's going to really help you to fund your business. Now, as you borrow money or as you utilize your personal finances, one of the critical things that you need to keep in mind is that you're going to need to open a business bank account. This is so important. One of the critical things about operating a business is that you should never mix your business with your personal. So you need to open a business bank account and start that business bank account off with either that money that you receive from the loan or the money that you loan to the business as your capital startup. That is going to be so important. Once you've gotten your business bank account up and running, once you've gotten the money you borrowed either from the bank or the money you've loaned to the business into the business, now you can begin to operate off those funds and taking care of the business's needs. The hope is to quickly get your product and services going, so the business can then be able to generate its own source of funding through its internal operations. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of that startup cost, whether or not to borrow, and some of those legal requirements that you're going to have to take care of.